Hello, and welcome to a special presentation presented by WRESTLEBUDDY.com. I'm your host, Tyler Peters, and we are going to take a look at the classic wrestling rivalries when Bruno Sammartino faced off against the superstar Billy Graham. Long before the national expansion of what fans would view today as the WWE, one McMahon had advocated professional wrestling in the American Northeast, whether that be New York, Philadelphia, even Pittsburgh, up all around New England. It was not Vincent Kennedy McMahon, however. It was Vincent James McMahon, his father, the same lineage of McMahons. Everyone thinks of baseball and football as existing pastimes, but wrestling preoccupied cities' mainstream media as far as the viewing platforms known then. Here's a little history for you. The WWF, Worldwide Wrestling Federation, changed from CWC, Capital Wrestling Corporation, to usher in a new era. In 1977, this region featured an established Italian-American star and icon named Bruno Sammartino, feuding against another legendary professional wrestler named Superstar Billy Graham. He famously reigned on top while competing for the company. Did Bruno Sammartino. Both wrestlers returned successfully to create legendary rivalries and memories. Sammartino was the WWF World Heavyweight Champion, and every hero needs their villain. Graham typified a specific class of wrestler whose bodybuilder look visually enticed audiences. He symbolized what Bruno was not according to their storied philosophies. Graham declared that everyday people can never be like him. He brags about his training regiment and closes with these iconic lines. I'm the man of the hour, the man with the power, too sweet to be sour. He was Mr. Excitement, all right. That was Superstar. Bruno carried importance whenever he spoke. The champion personified more endearing confidence. Did Graham, having this angrier and bitter Sammartino spells trouble for upcoming adversaries. My attitude toward the nostalgic meetings would initiate emotional investment concerning two legends and Hall of Famers. Presently, though, we're talking back in 1977. Interpreting the match, Sammartino defends championship against Graham. The match occurred on April 30th, 1977 in Baltimore, Maryland. Vincent Kennedy McMahon did commentary for the bout. Some background first. Bruno and Graham stayed in great shape. Superstar was at his definite peak here. I would say Billy Graham inspired Jesse Ventura and Hulk Hogan, among others. That's pretty obvious. One of wrestling's best and greatest and more defined physiques ever represented the challenger. When speaking of Superstar Billy Graham, Sammartino received nicknames for possessing incredible feats of strength himself, a prominent weightlifter who made the U.S. Olympic team. Bruno performed strongman stunts that garnered the champion local attention in his adopted hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Graham attained bodybuilding accolades dating back to his teenage years while living in Phoenix, Arizona. He played football via the Canadian League and was a high school shot put champion. Very impressive career did both these gentlemen have. Preferably, each wrestler patiently stayed before locking up. Some of you might be wondering about the motivation behind invariant movements. It connects spectators to center focus on wrestling psychology. That is the remnant of a lost art. If I'm viewing anything relating to sports or film, this applies to wrestling also. I desire an expectation regarding its previous layered structure that features our presentation of this championship matchup. Vincent K. McMahon remarked on Graham's charismatic muscular power. Superstar sent Bruno back first into the corner. Now the champ sold it exceedingly and realized his antagonist was strong enough to propel him toward the turnbuckles. San Martino could equally have the same kind of durability. Timing affects match quality by keeping interested observers fixated on the next effort. Superstar and the Italian strongman remained animated, and they kept the crowds interested. They formulated innovation for a time before high spots became relevant even then. Your intense segments extenuated, persuasively telling their side of the saga, just meaning story, yet it morphed into one that had logic. Tell me how the wrestler can astound fans by simply having two lockups, and Graham shrugs Bruno to the other ring corner. For example, did champion and contender sense an abrupt pace or anything resembling high risk? This audience was at each individual's command, and the bell had not rung at that very moment. Fast forward to the beginning. The timestamp said over 2 minutes. People waited for something extraordinary, if it would concur during the matchup. And trust me, there was a lot of magnificent highlights regarding this particular matchup. Bruno outmuscled his overconfident opposition. Bruno outmuscled his overconfident opposition. San Martino telegraphed Superstar back first within that turnbuckle, and he followed it up with an arm drag takedown. That's an arm drag takedown. The champion used his arm bar submission hold. Baltimore reacted gleefully just after one big sequence. You build to those spots and cheers that fill arenas. Everybody relished knowing Graham was receiving such deserved treatment as he was. The heel that just translates into villain. Some wrestling terminology for you. San Martino recycled technical holds on those big biceps of Superstar and took any power advantage out, considering moving actively, relaying basic introductory knowledge can be looked upon simplistically. Here's another factor. Pro wrestlers from this respected era exercised patience. It's a lost art sometimes, is it not? Why overthink a match that causes fans to overanalyze it? That can often lead to a lot more confusion. Just keep things basic at times. There lies the key. Lovers of wrestling are noticing anything. Great villains tremble but exhibit additional cunning intelligence. Graham showed his ring alertness after placing his leg on the rope and giving notice to the referee that per wrestling rules, my opponent must release his hold, he must have been thinking. Every self-absorbed wrestling persona attempts to regroup by evading into the outside of the ring. Next, we see Graham beg off from Bruno. The typical villainous, cowardly act. The art of the wrestling heel avoids imminent babyface danger, and it correlates with good guy wrestlers creating energetic comebacks. Simplicities are essential. Moves like test of strength, collar and elbow tie-ups, just meaning lockups, arm drag, takedowns, and etc. Yeah, what's great about that? You ask the question. When done correctly and at the right moment, can elevate or sabotage a wrestling match. Wrestling's deepest origins consists of mixing various ingredients, mat wrestling, positioning opposing wrestlers in precarious dilemmas, and strategic planning by studying your opponent's arsenal thoroughly. Cognitive skills are instrumental first and foremost. Gifting fans a furious quarrel, many facets were with attentive eyes must grasp its violent beauty. I don't need to comprehend every detail. Let's merely sit back and appreciate and enjoy athletic storytelling. Graham and San Martino were battle-tested and obtained the even kill. Superstar regained control as a result of an aggressive strategy. His magnificent power added to the presentation. The champion matched aggression in defending the title. Bruno's attack had lacerated Graham. Both utilized the other's maneuvers. Superstar cheated to win and used his legs on the ropes for added leverage. The referee's positioning did not allow him to notice it. The villain outwitted his nemesis and the referee. That kind of ending is reflective. That also inserts exuberance. And it would aggravate the fans, but also it would be combined with excitement for Bruno's supporters. They expect more of Superstar and Sammartino. Graham won the WWF Championship away from Sammartino. Any wrestling fan should go out of their way and watch Bruno versus Graham from the 1970s. But I'm Tyler Peters. We relive the classic rivalry in classic wrestling history that featured Bruno Sammartino taking on Superstar Billy Graham. It was a WWF World Heavyweight Championship matchup in Baltimore, Maryland. And this is a special presentation from WrestleBuddy.com. And I'm your host, Tyler Peters. And I'm saying goodbye, at least for now.